this the hardest you ever heard? Ain't this the hardest you ever heard? Bass make my face hurt. Shake break my framework when the bass jerk like quick earth. Oh my God. Just like that.
What's going on, Giants family? So, rather than keep going back and forth with people on Facebook and a couple of the groups, I decided to come on live, which I can see your guys' responses. If you're coming on from Facebook for some reason, sometimes it doesn't give me your name. So if you put your name ahead of your post, then we can talk about it. So I got live, yeah, surprise live, yes, Austin. It's embarrassing, Danny. At least we didn't glue. See, that's the problem, Danny. Let me take these glasses off because I glare again. I got to do something with this light. Um, that's the problem, Danny. The fact that our most positive response is, well, at least we didn't get blown out by 70 points. A loss is a loss, bro. You agree? So I've been thinking about how could we make the rest of the season a bit of a positive? And I was talking to Adriana, New York Giants. I forget her name on Instagram. I'm so sorry, Adriana. Um, New York Giants fangirl. Thank you. But there's something out there that just in the back of my mind, it just came out, and this is why I decided to do the live. Other than letting people come at me live instead of posting crap. So a lot of times, what I write or what I post on Facebook is sarcastic. Sorry, I'm doing stuff on my laptop while I'm talking to you guys. A lot of the stuff I put up there is sarcastic. It's a lot of sarcasm. The problem with that is with in texting, the sarcasm doesn't come across. So I got aggravated on top of being aggravated by this team yet again, as most of you are. However, I blew up a little bit. Now I'm not going to apologize because people keep coming at me regardless of what I say. And that's fine. You're allowed to. I don't care. But I'm going to start trolling you guys back. It's only right. It's only fair. So what I was thinking about, which wanted me to do the live here, is here's my deal. Here's what I think the draft should look like. Assuming we get the first pick in the draft, maybe the second, we trade up to get the first. We go with the quarterback. It's a clear need. Daniel Jones is just not doing it. I mean, again, I can give this kid every excuse, but when he has the time and when he can make his decision making is horrible. He can't think on the run. He has no downfield vision, which is why a lot of this stuff happens. So we sit here and ask ourselves, why do the Giants always get negative yards? Obviously, one of the reasons is Daniel Jones is the most sacked quarterback in the league this year. That's a gimme. I understand that. Even Tyrod Taylor got stacked a couple times today. So that one I understand. Another thing is these freaking swing passes 6 and 7 yards deep. Now, most likely that's play calling, but it's a play that keeps getting called. I don't know if that's the coaches or if that's Daniel changing it up at the line because, again, he's afraid to get his ass handed to him. So, again, we're going to another situation. When Daniel does get out of the pocket, like on the 3rd and 3, and he's running to try and get the first down, which I'll give him credit for. He's trying to make a play. He's trying to get, something going. Here's where he messes up. And here's where I get pissed off with the fact that your 5th year in this league is this year. By year 5, you should know, number 1, don't take a loss. Don't run out of bounds 2 yards deep. Right before you go to step out, throw the ball away. You had 2 receivers sitting there. In fact, it goes into my next point during this run. Before he's even 3 yards before he gets out of bounds, You see, not the first receiver because he had guys on him. The second receiver break up field a little bit. He had 5 yards between him and a guy in front of him, and what looked like open field behind him. If he would have just tossed that ball up, that could have been a simple catch for at least 7 yards. At least. There's no telling what could have happened after that. But these are the things that Daniel Jones, these are the things that tells me he's not the guy. We've had 2 teams in the past 3 weeks, counting this week, where the defense tells us, literally tells us, the fans, other teams, commentators, coaches, owners, general managers, whatever, tells them, we know he goes to his first read. And tell me how many times, I didn't count them because there was too many. Tell me how many times he did it today. Again. Even when he's running out of the pocket, he's looking at the same guy to get open. That's what I mean by no downfield vision. He has none. And unless a play is drawn up for him to run, he's way too late to make decisions. And I said this last year. The thing that could put him over the top is his ability to make quick decisions. He doesn't have that ability, guys. I'm sorry, not sorry. It's a bunch of bullshit. And again, I'm not rooting against the kid. I want to win. I'm sick of this losing. This is why I'm so freaking frustrated. But I'm going to call it like I say it. For all you people that want to call me a quarterback coach or a couch coach or couch owner or GM, whatever, you can call me whatever you want. I'm calling what I see. If you don't see it, that's fine. I could give a shit. I really don't give a shit. I'm going to call what I see. If you can give me a reason where I'm wrong, I'll evaluate your reason, and I'm either going to call bullshit or I'm going to agree with you. But in that situation, we can agree to disagree. But I'm not seeing it right now. The offensive line sucks. Adriana just said in her live, I think she still might be live, but Adriana just said something that makes a lot of sense. Well, actually, I posed it to her. So here's my issue. Minus the injuries with this team, we have the same core guys. So wouldn't you be expecting at least the same results? We're getting the same results, but in the wrong way. We're getting the same results as week 1. These guys can't block the wind. Well, I don't think anybody can. But, I mean, they couldn't stop a tumbleweed. Give me another excuse, something worse than that. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous. We're going to have a top 5 pick for sure, but I would rather not draft one, but trade for one. Justin Fields, that's a possibility. But okay, going back to that, I got off track with that. So let's say we draft quarterback, okay? Even if we don't, even if we do what Danny says and we trade for like a Justin Fields or something, okay? Which I'm okay with. But I also understand that Justin Fields isn't going to be great behind this offensive line either. I understand that. But right now we are in a spot where the offensive line isn't getting better. Oh, this is the point Adriana made. Justin Pugh should have been signed before the Niners game, if not immediately after. I don't understand what the ownership and what Joe Schoen are doing in that situation. Clearly, this O-line is garbage. So why wouldn't you sign a veteran? I understand you had to take him through his physical. Clearly, he passed his physical because now he's on the practice squad just to get caught up so he can come up here. Had we have done due diligence and brought him in either before or directly after the Niners game, I think he would have been up to par for the Seattle game. Not saying the line would have been great, but I truly believe it might have been better. I'm saying might because Justin Pugh is coming off of a major injury. I can't remember if it was the ACL or MCL, but he's coming back off of that. So yes, I understand he needs to be evaluated, all that stuff. But even with that, had they have brought him back before the Niners game or even immediately after, we would have known something. We could have put him on the line for the Seattle game. It might have made a difference, but we have no choice but to use the garbage we have now because there's nobody else. We're using our second and third stringers, and it's not, we can tell why they're second and third stringers. Because at this point, our starters are second or third stringers. And I mean the starters with guys we put out on the field. So, Austin, I understand Caleb Williams is the guy and Drake. Listen, that's fine. College doesn't always translate to the NFL. I mean, a lot of times you can get a good grip on a lot. It's few and far between when they're not at least half decent. Again, this is a Dave Gettleman screw the Giants. Like, again, number 6 overall pick, and we go with Daniel Jones. Now, don't get me wrong, because a lot of us, including myself, were screaming for Dwayne Haskins. God rest his soul. May he rest in peace. We were screaming for him, and he didn't have a great career. He didn't. He had better spots, but he didn't have a great career. I said, oh, here we go. Let's see. Facebook user. I don't know who this is, and I apologize because, again, Facebook doesn't bring it up. I said this earlier to Sneaky G, and it's just my opinion, and I could be wrong. I believe the Giants organization is still feeling the effects of the financial hole Dave Gettleman put them in. Agreed. That's why we haven't been able to spend money towards the issues we have. We can point fingers at Daniel Jones, the offensive line, and our secondary, but then don't have the money to spend. We have to work with what we got, just my opinion. Now, your opinion is very valid in that, but I'm going to get to this part here. I agree with what you said. I agree with the money issue. The only thing I might bite back about is this is the same offensive line, again, minus the few injuries. This is the exact same offensive line we put out there last year that did very well. That's why we only went after a center. Because they expected these guys to be there, and they expected them to be at least as good as we were last year, as good as the offensive line was last year. And again, our offensive line wasn't great, but they were decent. They got the job done. We went to the playoffs and won a playoff game, so clearly they were doing something right. And that's the point I'm making with that. So here's the other thing I'm saying. And you're right, and this is where you're right for the most part, because granted, we got Darren Waller. We got a couple guys on defensive line that they're doing subpar. They're not horrible, but they're not great. They're kind of mediocre. Oh, you're right. The offensive line is the issue, but it's not just the offensive line. We got to talk about the defense, how they neglect learning how to tackle or tackling in general. Look at them. The Dolphins ran all over us. We're supposed to have one of the better interior lines in football. So it's not just the offensive line. It's every aspect of the game. And I'm including play calling. Because at this point, I don't know, again, if Daniel Jones is changing the plays at the line and constantly going to those stupid freaking swing passes, or if Daboll or Kafka are literally calling them because of occasionally their work. Darren Waller proved that he can be used properly. Granted, he drops the ball a couple times, but for the most part, he's been the one consistent. And I'm anxious to see Andrew Thomas come back. And as far as I'm concerned, when and if Saquon comes back, I think him and Daniel Jones work well together. But in my opinion, I'm done with both of them. They went from saying he was a high ankle sprain, he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, to downgrading it to a regular everyday sprain. It, happens, and saying he's day to day. Now here we are, third week, going into the fourth week, possibly out. Andrew Thomas, we're getting fed. He's doing better. And at least with him, they told you he tweaked it a little, but he's still doing pretty good. But at this point, we can't rely on Saquon. It's sad because I love the kid. I think he had all the potential in the world to be one of the greatest. I kind of agree with Dave Gettleman that he could have been a generational talent, and at the time he was. But again, a running back in the first round, questionable. But okay, it happened. We got to deal with it. But the dude can't stay on the field. And Daniel Jones, another thing. Daniel Jones is looking to get himself killed. I mean, he's already getting murdered in the pocket. Isn't the idea when you get out of the pocket to not get hit? And again, I give him credit because he's trying to make stuff happen. But you got to be a better leader. You got to have better field vision. And you got to know to toss the ball away as opposed to taking a loss. That just doesn't make sense. If you're in the pocket and getting sacked, smart, you just get sacked. Don't try to throw a pick. Don't fumble the ball. We get it. But when you're running outside of the tackles and you're trying to make something happen, you're not making something happen when you're taking a loss for yards because you could have simply thrown the ball away. Or if you had some field vision, seen that somebody was open a few yards ahead of you to get at least a few yards, because a positive is way better than a negative. And all I continue to see is negative. And that's why I say it's not all Daniel Jones' fault. But a big portion of it is. I just this is another thing. This is another thing. You're right, Danny. Danny says, I hate that Hyatt isn't getting targeted. Why even draft a rookie wide receiver when you're going to implement him? We're not going to implement him in the game plan. Okay. Very good point. And I'm going to tell you why. They drafted him because we needed a speedy wide receiver. They drafted him because we were sold false hope that this line was going to be better than it was last year, based on how good it was last year. And again, it wasn't great, but it did the job. So you would think we'd move forward, which is what I think the coaching staff thought by drafting a wide receiver. We drafted a guy who unfortunately is hurt, but has been the most consistent and most dominant force on our line, which is John Michael Schmitz. Andrew Thomas played one game, didn't play great. Clearly, we got beat 40-0. Bredesen sucks balls. Glowinski sucks balls. The hamburger flipper isn't doing any better. You know, I'm tired. This is almost like the Joe Judge thing again, where Joe Judge repeatedly, well, we'll look at tape and see how we can improve things, and nothing improved. This is what we're getting from the players now. And again, I'm not putting it all on Brian Daboll. These players got to come out and play. And in the first couple quarters, the defense is doing legitimately well. Legitimately well. But again, they're keep getting like, I know it's shitty to say because they're professionals. They get paid to play this sport. But when your offense ain't doing nothing and your defense is literally the whole part of your team, scoring, getting sacks, making plays happen, and it's happening more than your offense is making plays, they're going to get tired. And I don't mean tired of like exhaustion tired. I mean tired of the bullshit. The offense has to step up, and they're not. Jalen Hyatt can't be used because Daniel Jones ain't getting enough time. And even when he does get enough time, he's staring down Wan'Dale Robinson or Darren Waller or Shep. Shep's not getting a lot of passes, but you see what I'm getting at here, guys? This is the issue. This is the problem. This makes no sense at all. And we keep putting the same garbage out on the field. So when I constantly hear Daniel Jones, I got to get better, hamburger flipper. I'm going to start calling him the Hamburglar. That's his new nickname, guys. Let's keep it rolling. The Hamburglar. When you see him doing as bad or worse than he did last week after coming out and shitting on all the fans, Bredesen's not doing any better. Glowinski's not doing any better. Our backup center, well, it wasn't backup because Bredesen got moved over, but the kid they put in for, I forget the dude's name, they got injured. He clearly is a third stringer. I mean, again, we're playing with Band-Aids and weak ones at that. We're like CVS brand or ShopRite brand, or what's the worst freaking place you can think of? Whatever. you can't put a Band-Aid on an artery that's severed. And that's what the Giants are trying to do here. And again, yes, we can't blame Joe Shane. We really can't because of the fact Dollar General. There you go. Thanks, Danny. We can't put we could put some of it, but we can't put all of it on Joe Shane. He's trying to do with what we have. I would like to sign Isaiah Simmons back. He's been playing well. Granted, he didn't have a great game today, but he's been playing well. Enough to, I think, stay on this team. But are the Giants going to have enough money to offer him anything to make him stay? We don't know. Does he really like it here enough? Is the mindset in his head already that, if this is the team that I'm playing with, is it how they're going to be, then I'm definitely going to test the free agent market and maybe end up on a team that's better, which at this point, there's not many teams that aren't better. So I just don't get it, man. It's freaking frustrating. So I'm going to put out the link for anybody that wants to join, whether it be Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. And when I say Facebook, all the outlets I'm doing. Giants fan, New York Football Giants fans, Giants World, Aces Sports page, New York Giants fan, Mercer County New York Giants fan club. I know I'm forgetting something. Giants family. Anybody can click on this link. You got to give permission to use your microphone and your camera. You can also, if you don't want to be seen, you click on a little spot. You click on your picture or your video of yourself. I believe you click on that and it'll take you off. It'll put like a little icon on it, But you can come on and talk with me. And this is the reason I'm doing this is because all the people that want to clown me in all these Facebook groups, I want you to understand where I'm coming from, that I'm not literally saying that the offensive line isn't bad. I was being sarcastic about that. But you want to be keyboard warriors, and then when I come on something like this, you don't want to say nothing. You don't want to pop in. And that's fine. Maybe I'm not worth your time. But I'm not going to stop. Because for every 1 or 2 haters I have 3 to 5 people that actually like what I do, whether they agree with me or not, which is come on here and talk to you guys. Now, I'm thinking about making this a thing where I'll go post game, depending on where I'm at, if I'm doing stuff with my family, because again, weekends are for the family, with the exception of football on Sundays. But it is always family first with me. But again, guys, like, come on, why are we going at each other? Like, really, you have your opinion. That's great. Change my mind. That's fine. But don't get vulgar. Don't call me stupid. Really, because it's just, it's childish. And if you want to be that, be that. So here's the link. You're more than welcome to come on. If nobody wants to come on, I'll end it soon. But I just wanted to get in here and talk about what's going on. They talk about it. I've talked about it on Wednesday night. I'll probably talk about it more this coming Wednesday night when I do my show. Sneaky G-Man talks about it. One of the most positive Giants fans there is out there. He's a, glasses half full kind of guy. I'm more of I drank the whole glass type guy. But again, I don't have a problem with hearing you guys out and maybe swaying my opinion or maybe making me think differently. I don't have a problem with that. But till you make a point that I'm going to agree with, we're going to disagree. And that's it. That's the gist of it. So again, I put the link out. You guys click on it. You can come on. We can talk. I'll put it out there for a couple minutes. Again, I got people commenting. What do you guys think? I mean, at this point, like, I hate tanking. I don't want to tank. I want to see this team win, period. I really don't think we're beating the Commanders. We're sure as hell not going to beat Buffalo next week. We're definitely not going to beat Dallas. We're definitely not going to beat Philly. If we do, it's going to be a trap game. It's going to be one of them games where the team we're going against kind of lays back and just lets things happen. But literally every team in the NFL is on notice that our offensive line is that bad, that DJ likes to stare down his first progression, that DJ does not have downfield presence, that our receivers can't get open quick enough for DJ to throw the ball to him, that our defense, after a few quarters, will give up on our offense and give up in general. Because that's what I saw in the fourth quarter today. And if the defense did something in the fourth quarter, most likely it's because the offense on the other team just kind of like, nothing's going to happen. Let's just, play. We'll do whatever. But they ran all over us. They passed the ball all over us. Yes, Tua had a couple picks. Yes, there were a couple turnovers. And I don't fault Graham Gano for missing the 55-yarder. It's a long freaking kick. Yes, he makes some of them. Yes, he misses some of them. But I think Graham Gano is locked in anywhere inside of 40 yards. 45, 50, it's not bad. But 50 or more, you can't expect a quarterback or a kicker to make all of those. You can't expect it. You'd like to, but you just can't. It's the way football is. So I'm not getting any buyers or biters into coming on. So I'm just going to end this live with that, guys. I just wanted to come on for a little bit, express what I'm trying to say, let everybody know we should let DeVito cook next week. Forget Tyrod. Danny, at this point, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter who we put out there. We could trade for Justin Fields today, and it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. The difference, I think, between Danny Jones and Justin Fields is that I think Justin Fields is a quicker decision maker. I haven't really watched a lot of them, but I believe he's has better downfield vision. I believe he's smart enough to know to throw the ball away rather than take a loss. We're going to make the wild card this year. If the wild card's on the couch watching the wild card, yeah, then we'll make it. They must be buying tickets to the wild card. That's why we're going to make it. All right, guys, I appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging out with me for just under a half hour. Again, I just wanted to pop in here and let people understand it. Most of my comments on any of the Facebook pages are sarcastic. I'm a sarcastic prick. I'm a certified asshole. It's fine. You want to clown me? That's fine too. But understand it's no ill will towards any person in here, even though some of you like to get personal, and that's fine too, because you'll be deleted from the groups. It's just that simple, because we don't tolerate that. We're supposed to be fans in here. We're supposed to, root for this team no matter what, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. I've actually had a couple people tell me today, go root for another team. I could easily do that. But I've put too many years, too much time, and too much effort into this team to just walk away from them, because I'm not a quitter. I don't quit on Daniel Jones again. I'll end it with this. I want Daniel Jones to win. I want any quarterback that lines up in that starting position to win. Because if he's not winning, no matter how good or bad we think he is, then we're not fans of the team we root for. That simple. I don't think he's the guy, but right now he's our guy. And I'm going to root for him no matter what. I'm also going to call him out when I think he needs to be called out on. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Something else comes up, I'll definitely pop on and we'll talk about it. Till then, hopefully we'll see you guys, a lot of you guys, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when I do Extreme Blue, and we basically have this conversation again, hopefully with some more viewers and some more people popping in. So again, I appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Let's go Rams. Let's go Niners. Because I don't want to see either of the, or actually any of the teams in our division win besides us. All right, guys. Peace.
Ain't this the hardest you ever heard? this the hardest you ever heard? Bass make my face hurt. Shake break my framework when the bass jerk like quick earth. Oh my.